How would you fund your studies is an essential UKVI credibility interview question that every international student like you needs to get it right for you to be offered a visa to study in the UK. You could also apply the same formula to Canada, Australia, USA. So I'm going to take you through how to answer this in a jiffy. It could be very disappointing for you to be refused a visa, having met all other criteria, get your English proficiency sorted, get your cars, the university has accepted you, and you get stuck with funding, which is an essential part of your studies. So how would you demonstrate this to the UKVI to show that you have the money, you have the funds to sustain you throughout your studies? Hello, the great to you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks very much for coming back as usual, and thanks again for all your support on this channel. You can see how you're growing steadily. Thank you so much. If this is your first time of seeing me, hello, welcome to my channel. Feel free to explore our channel. My name's Charity. I'm the founder of the Greater You, which is a UK registered trademark and a platform I have created to empower all educational needs, improve professional and personal development of all young people across the globe to becoming the best versions of themselves. So we are a global community gearing at empowering each other's minds towards greatness. Please do to join the community of the Greater You by subscribing to our YouTube channel and remaining a loyal and committed member. Thanks so much for doing that. So today, without further ado, we are going to how would you answer a UKVI credibility interview question that says, how would you fund your studies? Yes, it is essential that you get this right. You can get every other thing right, but if you fail to demonstrate your ability to fund your studies in the UK, you may be refused a visa. But that is not our prayer for you. Hence this video. This video has been specifically requested by most of you to make a dedicated video on the steps to answer this interview question. How would you fund your studies? Just a quick disclaimer, I am not a lawyer, nor am I working at the UKVI office, but the experience I'm going to share with you is my own personal experience, and also having worked with the International Recruitment Office at the University of East London, helping thousands of international students get through their UKVI credibility interview stage and answering this question. So based on that experience, my lived experience and my working experience, I am standing to advise you. So please, I'm not a lawyer by any chance. I am a communication and project manager by profession. Yeah. So let's dive into it. As an international student getting ready to study in the UK, for instance, you would either be sponsored in 3 ways. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the 3 ways. Number 1, it's either you're going to be self-sponsored, or you're going to be sponsored by your parent, or you're going to be sponsored by an organization. So those are the 3 types of funding. We are going to go into it deeply on how to word it for you to demonstrate your credibility in terms of funding. If you're asked this question, how would you fund your studies? If you are self-funded, you need to answer it this way. First of all, you need to talk about where you've worked before in the country, and you need to mention how much you've earned. What is your salary scale, your pay scale, with using pound sterling, British pound sterling. Do not mention it in your currency. And then you also need to demonstrate that you've got savings that is sitting right there in your account that would sustain you throughout the period you're going to be studying in the UK. And you also need to demonstrate that you've already paid your tuition fees, if you have done that, maybe a greater part of it. And now the remaining part of your tuition fees, which is like balance of your tuition fees, need to be in your account in addition to your maintenance fee. So a typical amount UKVI will be requesting from you is around roughly £12,000 in addition to the balance of your tuition fees. So when you demonstrate this, you can put it in a sentence like this. Thank you for your question. I am going to be self-sponsored. Over the years, I have worked as a digital communication practitioner back in my home country, India, and I've saved over this all-important investment regarding my education. And I have been paid, or my salary is this amount in pounds, maybe £55,000 per annum. Do not mention it in your currency. Please try to mention it in pounds so that they understand it. And I have already paid my tuition fees this amount, and I have the balance of it in my account, which it's also which I'm also having this amount of money that would take care of my expenses, my feeding, my sustenance throughout my 12 months in the UK. So I believe that this amount I've got is going to sustain me and also pay my tuition fees. So that's how to answer the question, how would you fund your studies as a self-sponsored student? So now let's move to the second way of how to answer, how would you fund your studies as a student sponsored by parents. So if your parent is sponsoring your studies, if your parent is sponsoring your studies, so you have to mention where your parent works. If it's mom and dad, you have to mention both the occupation of your mom, the occupation of your dad, and do not also forget to mention how much they earn in a year. The amount they earn should be in British pound sterling equivalent. And also you need to demonstrate that they've already set a specific amount of money for your education, that this money that they have, for instance, if they're business owners, is not that your tuition fees is separate from the business money. One mistake students make, for instance, those ones sponsored by their parents who have business, they do try to match the money for business together with the tuition fees. So you need to separate them, that your parents have already made a separate provision for your tuition fees, which is totally different from the business money. And that is only if your parent is a business owner, is running a business. But if they are doing white collar job 9 to 5, then the amount, how much they earn, needs to be in pounds. And you also need to demonstrate that they have set aside a certain amount of money towards your education. And you also need to say that you are the only person sponsored by your parents. If you are more than one person that your parents are sponsoring, you need to demonstrate that your parents have enough money to also sponsor your sibling and also sponsors you. So that needs to be very clear. And probably you could say sample answer like this. I'm going to be sponsored by my parents, mom and dad. My parents are business owners. They are running aluminium business back in India, and their estimated annual income is £100,000 per annum. My parents have set aside a separate money for my education, which is different from the business money. And this is already been demonstrated in my account via the bank statement. So currently I have more than £15,000 in my account, which I've also paid my tuition fees before now, and that 15,000 will take me through my 12-month studies in the UK. If they further ask you, as your parents are sponsoring other of your siblings, if it is yes, you can say, yeah, my parent is sponsoring one of my siblings who is studying blah blah blah. They've also set aside money for her, and my own money is different. Yeah, so you need to really demonstrate that to the UKVI, that you're not going to match things with your siblings, and your parents have enough money to take care of you and your sibling, or your sister or brother per se. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Third type of how to answer this question, how would you fund your studies is if you are a sponsored student by an organization. What this means is that if you've got scholarship sponsored by a reputable organization, remember, the organization must be known by the UKVI, and it must also have the credibility to sponsor you. So this one is the easiest if you gain scholarship in your home country and from a company or an organization which is known worldwide. All you need to do is to collect a sponsorship letter from them, and you present that to the UKVI. That will solve the problem of all other questions. So that is the easiest way to demonstrate your funding capacity. Like my own personal, like my own time when I was coming to do my master's, my first master's, I wasn't self-sponsored, nor was I sponsored by my parents, but I was sponsored by an organization. So what I did was just to present my award letter or sponsorship letter or scholarship letter, as you may call it, and that covered everything about funding. I hope that helps. That leads us to the end of our today's video on how to answer UKVI credibility interview question. Do let me know if you have any comments, any queries, any concerns. Do head straight to our website www.thegreateryou.co.uk and go on the contact us section and get in touch with us. We'll be happy to help you with any of your queries. Okay, thank you again for staying tuned to the very end. Do well to like, comment, share this video, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Do not stop rooting for yourself, because I am rooting for you as well. See you at the top, because that's where we all belong, the greater you.